Hello, and welcome to the inner workings of the Not So Genius Mind. I'm your host, the Not So Genius, Amanda McCombs. And, you're just kind of stuck with me today. We're diving deep, as we usually do, into the ordinary mind to uncover extraordinary insights and find a fresh and unique perspective on healing and rediscovering life. There has been kind of a pause in my recording. I want to try to start my episodes by talking about maybe something that I did since my last recording that helped me to take care of myself, because we don't even know what that looks like anymore, right? I've been doing a lot of things to take care of myself, really. But one of those was I had to not record for a little bit. I was really, really deep in my grief, and it made me really, really sick. Like physically sick. I've been in and out of the hospital. And I did feel well enough to go down to Vegas to go to the Mrs. America pageant. I'm really glad I did. I missed part of it, but I got to do a watch party and still see it on TV with some of my Sash sisters. And I'm so glad I did. It really opened up my eyes to just like a lot of what it's all working towards, Part of why I've been so sick is, the anniversary of my mom's death. She passed away about a year ago, but then all the weeks afterwards, I was grieving really hard, right? And it was first her passing, and then a couple weeks later, her funeral. And mentally, my brain just kind of prepared like, oh, it's her birthday. And her birthday is when we had our last phone call. And then after that, she died. So I was trying to push through and, do what I could, but I got so sick. And, I'll explain more of that later. But I found a great therapist. I've been using BetterHelp. If you hear the meowing, it's my cat, Yum Yum. He's half named Kim and thinks he is the king of everything. And I kind of maybe treat him like he is because I love him very, very much. He ran away a few times. Anyway, more about that later. So since my mom died, and I just barely talked to my therapist about this. So since my mom died, I've really been avoiding a lot of things that I used to do. Like cooking and baking, I have a really hard time with. And I was going to make a joke about how I baked a cake with my kids. I got homework to make something from my therapist, and I actually baked a cake with my kiddos, and it just stirred up a lot of memories for me, because the baking of the cake and the stirring, never mind. But it really did. It brought up a lot for me. And I really had to feel all those things still. I miss her, and I miss her a lot. And then I realized that, like my therapist asked me what memories I had with my mom. And I kind of froze, partly because I didn't want to feel any of the things, and also because I just kind of was drawing a blank, right? And I just thought of really simple, I didn't think about all the big vacations that we took. Like she and I would do road trips. But that's not what it was all about, It was about spending time together. And she taught me a lot of what I know in the kitchen, and she taught me a lot about just food in general. Um, we had different places that we liked to go and get food together, and then I try to go to those places now, and it's really hard. So I know it's like it takes time, and you grow around your grief. Right? Isn't that how it goes? I have a lot of things of hers. And part of it is because she gave me a lot so that I could get started in rehab. And I couldn't wait to get out of that house, right? I didn't like how she treated me, but there were some really awful things. Like there were ways that she was very supportive, and then there were ways that she was hurtful. And the hurtful things really hurt a lot. And those things hurt too. So it was just better not to feel anything. Um, so yesterday, the day before this recording, I did go up to the property where everything had burned down, and they're rebuilding. It's a beautiful house. They've worked really hard on designing it. My mom was helping pick things out and put things together. And the garden is still growing. There's grapes and corn and berries and all kinds of other stuff. I took my son with me, and, it was hard to explain to him how and why I'm crying, right? Because he doesn't remember my mom, or he is still really little. The idea of her is just kind of dear. So we got to spend some time together. That was awesome. And there's some really juicy noise. Oh, it's just my kiddo with some cars. Anyway, I took my son up there with me. We got to have a couple of the apples from the apple tree. And I spent a lot of time up there when I was a single mom. So even though I have some really, really big, deep feelings about just being out there in general, I had to power through and heal. She's everywhere and nowhere. Because so much of who I am is because of her, and because of the time that we spent together and baking the cake out. So thank you, therapist lady. But, baby steps. Maybe I'll make something else. It's also kind of hard, and I know Grace's been holding me back because it delayed my trip down to Mrs. America, and I had been planning to go the whole time. I'll have to do a whole other podcast episode about the Mrs. America pageant. It was really cool to watch. There was actually 3 different ones to watch. And the energy there was great. I think my favorite thing, and I'll just tell this right now, spoiler, not really spoiler, but our Utah Sash sisters really show up for each other and cheer for each other. It was great to see them rooting for each other on stage. It just made me really happy. And I think that's the big reason why, I want to keep going and I want to keep doing this. I also was just diagnosed with liver disease, the non-alcoholic kind. There's an alcoholic kind and the non-alcoholic kind, and I have the one without alcohol because it's from, let's see, I've had polycystic ovarian syndrome, and then endometriosis and adenomyosis, and just everything you could have wrong go wrong in my tummy. And I've had surgery after surgery after surgery. And what do you get after surgery? You get Advil. What does your doctor tell you to take when you're in pain? Ibuprofen, right? Because my tummy hurt. And I come to find out it's been hurting all this time because my liver is mad. So I'm on some fun diet protocols that I'm navigating. And so, food was just kind of scary for a little bit. I'm uncomfortable. I'm tired. Um, and, there comes a whole other grief when you're dealing with chronic medical issues. It's not a death sentence. It's not permanent right now. Like, it's not bad enough that I have scarring or anything, but, my doctor and the team are just totally on top of things to really help me get healthy so that I can be on track for this pageant. Because let's face it, I was not taking care of myself. And I don't think a lot of us really are. Like, if we're really thinking about it, if we're being honest, we're not. So yeah. Anyway, I am glad that I went up to my mom's property. There's so much more that I have to get through and do, but I was able to kind of literally unpack some feelings, right? I was able to unpack some memories and, you kind of have to. I just kept thinking with all the stuff that she pulled from the wreckage of this fire. If my house was on fire and I had to go through everything afterwards, I had to filter through the ashes and sift through the rubble, what would I keep? What would I have to decide if it was worth keeping or not? What would end up in the garbage? There's so many things that I know that she pulled aside and had good intentions for, but some of it's it's ruined. I think, just grab what you can. So anyway, if you listen this far, thank you so much. Follow on Instagram at Not So Genius. You can message me if you're interested in any kind of collaboration, if you want to interview or discuss products or therapy services or things like that. I would love to have you on board. And again, take care of yourselves. It's a crazy world out there.